Hi, folks, and welcome to my Ask Shell coffee break. Today, we've got a topic that is very important to everyone, from young to the senior audience, and it's called lighting. You know the amount of improvements, well, at least we've been told there's improvements in lighting, all the way from the incandescent bulb to the halogen bulb to the compact fluorescent bulb, now in the news, and vehicles, even cars have got LEDs now. Well, I've got a professional with me that I've known for years. His name is Norm Brown. He's with Norburn Lighting in Vancouver and Langley, British Columbia. He's the marketing manager for Norburn Lighting, and Norburn has always been the place to go for me for my information and education on lighting. Well, Norm, here we are again. We've been together before on video. Here we are again. How's everything going?
It's going well, and thank you for inviting me to this.
You know, Norm, you've always been the king of lighting. You've been the guy that I go to when it comes to lighting. And I know incandescent lighting is, well, it became a real news item back not that many years ago. In fact, we've did some really strange things in British Columbia. Can you outline that for us?
Yeah. Uh, 5 years ago, the Canadian government, American government, got together in continuing to be energy efficient and set parameters for more efficient incandescent light bulbs. And the start of this year was to be the phase out of the 100-watt light bulb to be replaced with a 72-watt bulb. California and British Columbia, in their wisdom, went a year ahead. So we've had this embargo since January of last year.
Incidentally, why California? What's the scoop?
I think they're so similar to BC.
Coastal
we're sort of
climates?
different. Well, they've got huge energy problems, creation of energy, and they're much more green than the rest of the United States. So I think that it was a social thing as much as a logistics.
Uh-huh.
And so it was supposed to be everybody beginning of this year. The rest of the United States went with it. And Canada, in his wisdom, at the last minute in November of last year, backed off for 4 years. So now you can buy a 100-watt light bulb in Calgary, but you can't buy one in BC. But we do have a 72-watt bulb, a far more efficient bulb, more light, better light than the 100-watt light bulb. We are never going to see the end of incandescent lighting as we know it in my lifetime.
We're not going to be bootlegging bulbs from Alberta into BC, are we?
No, because a 100-watt light bulb was a really bad bulb. It hasn't been improved for many, many years.
Uh-huh.
This new 72-watt bulb was a vastly superior bulb, more efficient, good color, dimmable, screw in, screw out. We're never going to see it. The 60-watt light bulb leaves next year. It'll be replaced with a 42-watt bulb.
And will those be comparable to the 100s and the 60s?
Yes, better quality. We're using halogen technology, so you're getting a whiter, crisper light.
Price-wise, where will we go with that?
Well, they've gone from a light bulb being $1.50 to this new one being $1.75 to $2. So it's not huge, and you're getting a better quality lamp.
So what about halogen? What about incandescent when it comes to pot lights? And I know there was a program back a few years ago where they came into commercial establishments, for an example, and took out all the 40-watt and put in 34-watt bulbs.
That was in fluorescence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But no, right now there's a continuing program of every year there's going to be some new technology and new standards for even the pot lights in your home as far as light bulbs. But it's never going to be a problem. You're going to come along and replace it. Maybe 10 years from now or 5 years from now you'll replace it with LED. But right now they're introducing LED, using compact fluorescent, but they're also making incandescent and halogen much more efficient. So it's a four-pronged attack.
So the incandescent halogen, by no means in your future outlook that they're not going anywhere.
No. You're going to walk in the store 5 years now and ask for a 40-watt light bulb instead of a 60-watt light bulb.
Interesting. Now, what about the compact fluorescent? I know you brought one with you, so people will relate to it. I have a lot of people talk about such things. For example, the pigtail bulb. That's the compact fluorescent.
Right. Well, I've got the circular one here. It's been much misaligned. People don't like fluorescent. People hate fluorescent. The old cool white tube that made you look like you died yesterday. And the advent of any technology was foisted on us. Today, this bulb is an excellent bulb, but you have to know what you're buying.
Well,
Okay,
that's the most important thing. I
right.
can recall back some years ago now when I introduced the PowerSmart program across Canada, and we had one bulb that we gave away many at home shows and with the life expectancy of 10 years. And I can recall people phoning me up after 5 years saying, you know, that bulb, it's burnt out. And obviously the information come back, well, it's the number of times you turn it on and turn it off. And actually, I had a bulb at one time that was introduced to a backyard light, and I left it on for the last time I even had anything to do with that particular home was 8 years ago, and it's still burning.
Yeah. Well, that's the 13 watt bulb, and the Hydro in their wisdom was pushing the 13 watt bulb in lieu of a 60 watt incandescent. I haven't sold a 13 watt bulb in the last 5 years. I use a 15 watt bulb. I use an 18 watt bulb. In fact, in my workshop, which has got bare bulbs, I have a 23 watt fluorescent that's equivalent of 150 watts of light.
Now, the interesting thing about compact fluorescence is for a moment not to dwell on it because obviously a lot of people have went to the compact fluorescent. I know south of the border you can buy them much more reasonable than you can elsewhere, but they obviously are being manufactured offshore. They don't have the CSA in a lot of cases, but the whole concern I have with compact fluorescence is the way they're introduced. There was never that comparable or that comparison relationship other than reading the small print.
Yeah, it just came in, bingo. The product really wasn't ready yet when it came offshore. I mean, they're down to 250 a piece now, so not a huge problem. But when you buy a fluorescent, you have to specify the wattage and you have to specify the color. And we've been used to walking into a store and saying, "Give me a 4-foot tube."
Yeah.
And for years, there's been 25 or 30 different colors. But consumers said, "Give me a 4-foot tube," and they bought the 99-cent cool white bulb that looked like he died yesterday. It was blue. It took the color out. When you
Well,
go in and buy fluorescents, what you're specifying is the color you want.
Well, also you'll go into homes now with pot lights, and they'll have screwed out the halogen floodlight and screwed in a compact fluorescent, and really the lighting is altogether different.
Well, the light bulbs that you had in the pot light were designed to drive the light down.
Mm-hmm.
It was a point source, which is the filament, and then a reflector behind it. With these bulbs, there is no direction. So most of the light is sitting inside the can.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that this light bulb can force the light down onto your floor, onto your counter. So it's terrible. And you're saving energy and you're not seeing. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what about the introduction of LED, light-emitting diodes? A lot of people now are being turned around and told to go the LED route because they're building new houses. You see LED floodlights, you see pot lights, you see under counter lights, you see you name it, you see LEDs.
Well, they're going to be here. Um, they're, in my mind, in many cases, except for step lights and under counter lighting, they're not here yet. Uh, but you have the same problem that you have with fluorescent. You have to specify the color. A lot of the LED stuff is blue, like the old cool white. So consumers have been used to buying a light bulb.
Mm.
Now they have to walk in and say, "I need LED, I need this, I need a 3,000 degree Kelvin, I need so many watts per foot."
Ooh,
Uh, and we're learning by mistakes right now. We're learning that, a 600 watt dimmer, which is a standard dimmer in the industry, will only handle 160 watts of LED. We learned that by selling a bunch of light bulbs to somebody and they fried their dimmer.
uh,
So we're learning by, and the other problem is right now in my store, the shelf life of any LED product is 6 months.
6 months.
6 months before something else has come out to replace it with more light, better quality light, or less money.
So it's becoming like software now.
It is becoming with software, but unfortunately there are no standards in LED yet. And so you've got literally thousands, I mean thousands of manufacturers of the actual LED disc in China. I probably get 20 to 25 emails a week on my BlackBerry from someone in China trying to sell me LED product. There's
Wow.
absolutely no quality control whatsoever.
Folks, my guest is Norm Brown. Norman for short with me because I've known him for years. He's with Norburn Lighting, and Norburn Lighting are the kings when it comes to lighting and lighting specialists. Two locations, one in Vancouver, one in Langley, BC. and certainly they have a website. We'll get that from Norman here momentarily. But I just want to ask Norman a couple more questions with regards to complaints from the consumer when it's relevant to LEDs, because that's where we're going, it seems. And you see them in automobiles, you see them in brake lights, headlights. You can see them that they look kind of blue in color, and all these things. But yet there's homes now being sold with up-to-date lighting LEDs in pot lights. And Norm, I'm doing a major renovation myself now on a condominium. Tell me, LEDs for pot lights, or where do I go?
If you want to, in my opinion, many manufacturers of recessed lighting will not like my opinion, go to the light bulb. Put in an LED bulb. Do not buy a component LED recessed. I am really concerned. Let me give you a scenario, Shell, that I can't get an answer from. You put 10 pot lights in your kitchen. The
Mm-hmm.
color coming out of them is the same. The light level is the same. 3 years from now, one of them burns out or two of them burns out. Forget about the life of the light bulb. It could be the driver go. It could be the module go. Where are you going to go and buy a module to replace the two? And I
Mm-mm.
perceive you might have 8 pod lights in your kitchen with one color and 2 in another. And every time I talk to a manufacturer, especially in the residential side, their response was, I never thought of that.
Oh, oh,
And so,
that's serious.
well, your modules every 6 months. We have one major manufacturer who introduced their LEDs 5 years ago. They're on the 4th generation in
Wow.
5 years.
So
And each,
therefore, are you saying that I should still look at halogen?
yes, or use LED bulbs. So if you're not happy, look at the LED bulb's going to go down in price drastically. There's no rule about 10%, 10 years. I found a bulb that I could use in my pot lights in my kitchen that replaces a 75 par halogen. It sells for $95.
Yeah,
Uh, who's going to buy it at $95?
exactly.
10 years from now it might be $9. So
Right.
don't get me wrong, LED is here to stay, but we need standards set, and huge problem with halogen or with LED. They got to get rid of the heat. It hates heat. So you got these big metal fins to get rid of the heat.
Wow.
The light output's not here yet. It's not. There's no color shift. You want that nice red as you dim your dining room fixture. Right now, LED just drops the light level, but doesn't change the color.
So therefore, what you're saying, if you go LED, you may be the guinea pig.
I think so, and stay with bulbs in recess because you can always fall back,
Mm-hmm.
or you can change it incandescent. I have 70 MR16s, a small 12-volt bulb in my house. I lamped them in '05 in my house in Salmon Arm. I have yet to replace a bulb since August of '05. That bulb is worth $4.95.
Well, there you go. Now tell me, you discussed with me before we went into the video production here about the design and development of new housing, that they don't put lighting in living rooms in the past, but now today you see pot lights everywhere. But in the past, when homeowners don't have pot lights or don't have ceiling fixtures in their living room, what did they do?
Well, I think that's when I became passionate about lighting when I turned around 60. Because I'd always thought that living rooms have no light. Because I mean, why would you want to light a living room? There's nothing you own in a living room that's worth seeing, right? And
Well,
builders
there
never
are
put
in
anything in
some
them.
homes, but
Being facetious.
yeah.
And so what would happen is we used to sell table lamps in the fall right through to January, and we always thought that's because people bought furniture. Well, when I turned 60, I realized that wasn't the case. I just couldn't see in my living room. So as the eye ages, and I need 3 times more light at 67 than I did at 21,
And same here.
we would go out and buy table lamps.
Yeah.
And so by the time you turn 80, you got 7 table lamps in your living room. You got cords everywhere, and you trip over them and break your hip.
But Norburn Lighting, they have a number of seminars that deal with lighting and what to do about lighting, planning lighting, designing lighting. Seminars. You have a number of them, and where can they get the information on
We
them?
do 2 or 3 a year. We just did one last night. We had 75 people in for 2.5 hours. Um, so to our website, or you can call our store or email our store, and we'll put you on the list and notify you when the next ones are. They're always free. We brought some speakers in from New York last night. So we try and get speakers that know what they're talking about. You will
Excellent.
be entertained. I guarantee you, it will not be a dry technical thing. We ask people to come in and learn, but we also have to entertain them and keep their interest.
Your website?
Website is www.norburnlighting.com.
And that's Norburn,
Yes, it's short for North Burnaby.
North Burnaby.
Yes.
It's just that easy, folks. I want to thank Norm Brown for being with me today here on the coffee break. I know this is a little longer than usual, but it is a topic that takes a little longer than usual to make all the information available to you. Our listening audience and our club members, we look forward to helping you with your home improvement, building, or renovations. Until next time, my name is Shel Busey and Norman Brown. Thanks very much, Norm.
You're welcome, Tub. Thank you.